Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 12th and final round.
Right hand, Golovkin steps in and down he goes again. Unbelievable. Mayweather makes him pay. What a rookie mistake. A sensational left hook by De La Hoya.
It's facts. I'm the best. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't want to believe it myself, but it's the truth. I'm the best.
I'm going to show you how great I am.
From Southern California, this is the Last Round Podcast.
Okay, so we're here for another live show, this time at the Cosmopolitan after the Top Rank show. I'm here with former 2-weight world champion, Jessie Vargas. Thank you very much for joining me.
Oh, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure being on the show. Man, we just got finished with a very entertaining matchup, surprisingly very entertaining matchup, where Oscar Valdez comes out with the TKO victory tonight.
I will dive straight into it since we've got, time is of the essence. So, Kyle Frampton started off. What did you think of his performance tonight?
I thought he fought very well. I mean, I could tell that he was measuring himself, and he wanted to stay in control. He didn't want to take that many risks from what I saw. He was basically in control the entire fight. He just started picking it apart with the body shots, and he landed a few very good right hands, looping right hands, which worked very effectively for him. But I'm normally used to seeing him a little busier.
Yeah, I thought it was a good performance. You could see, he's kind of fighting the taller guy, did well working like within range and then getting back out. Going forward, it looks like maybe Jamel Herring. What do you think of that?
I think that's a tough fight for both. That's a tough fight for both fighters, especially just because Herring has the length, the height advantage. I mean, so did Carl Frampton's opponent tonight, but he just wasn't on the same caliber. And I think Herring is on the same caliber. It'd be a very competitive fight, but a dangerous fight for both.
Jamel Herring seems to be one of those people that every time he kind of steps up, he rises to that big occasion. Because, Top Rank, when they kind of put him in with Ito, it was kind of like they'd kind of thrown him to the wolves and they didn't expect Jamel Herring to come up with the victory. And then obviously, in the next fight, he did even better. So, it'd be a good performance, especially if he manages to get him over in Belfast.
Well, he's a fighter that, he's an old school fighter. You know what I mean? They've been trying to push him to be a world champion, and he finally got to that position. It hasn't been an easy road for him, but I think that it would be a big opportunity for him to fight in Belfast and fill up an arena out there and show his talent, show what he has. The people in Ireland are Boston fanatics. They're huge fans. They know about the sport. They respect the sport. Just like when Nonito fought over there, they admired Nonito and Frampton for the war that they put up. So I think that it's a great place great venue, great place to put on a good show, a good fight.
And moving on to the main event, Oscar Valdez against Adam Lopez. I thought we were going to be in for a shock. Early doors when Lopez caught him with that uppercut.
It was quite a shocker, honestly. Oscar Valdez hit the canvas when he got hit with a right hand and uppercut to the chin. But this is boxing. Things like that do happen. But he was able to use his experience and come out with the victory by knockout in the later rounds.
How hard is it, obviously, you being a fighter, when somebody weighs in like 11 pounds over, and then at the last minute, you have to go for someone like a completely different style?
Yeah, of course. I mean, when you're preparing for a certain fighter, just as Valdez was, for 2-3 months, preparing for that style, for the certain tactics, and then they switch it up one day before the fight. I mean, now you don't know what you're up against. You don't know who this guy is, and now you have to come up with a new game plan. And that's what Oscar Valdez did, was just use his experience to help him gain the victory. Because, I mean, he's seen a lot of these styles before. But in a professional game, we do a lot of repetition, working our technique, our certain punches. Say if you're going to land a right hand, you're planning to land a right hand over the top. Well, you practice that over and over and over again. And guess what? If your new opponent has a better defense for that right hand, where it might be a little more difficult, now you automatically have to switch something out of your game plan that you've been working for 2 to 3 months. And then something has to trigger yourself to think to remove that from your list, which can sometimes be difficult.
Bob Arum said before he was hoping to match Valdez with Miguel Berchelt. After that performance, how do you see that?
Listen, these two fighters know each other since the Olympics, since back in 2007. They sparred with one another, so I think that they can put on a great show, a great entertaining fight. They both have a lot of respect for one another, but because they know that what talent they both bring to the table, I think it would be a very entertaining matchup. Two Mexican warriors fighting to the end. Neither fighter knows how to back down. It'd be a tough one for both. I know them both. They're good friends of mine, so I'm going to be stuck in the middle, but let the best man win.
And then going forward with yourself, the rumors of you and Mikey Garcia?
Well, I mean, those are just rumors right now. I have to sit down and talk with my promoter and advisors and see what we can put together. Nothing's sure until we have that paper signed, so we'll find out very soon what's next for me. But I'll be fighting definitely early 2020 on the zone. So February, March, that's what I'm looking forward to. So please stay informed, stay updated, and we'll be back very, very soon. As you all know, I'm always here to give you entertaining matchups. The minute that the bell rings, I let my punches go, and I don't think twice.
And then it looks like you were going to be on the December 7th card against Liam Smith originally. What happened?
It was definitely something that was being worked out for a couple months, but unfortunately those negotiations fell apart. But we'll see. We'll see what else comes. Eddie and my advisors, they all have a great plan for me on the zone, and I'm very happy to be a part of the team. And I know that they're going to bring on big opportunities. The bigger the fight, the better. I know that's what they're looking for, a big fight for the fight fans on the zone. I mean, that's our key. That's our plan, to give the fans big fights on the zone. So, I mean, if it takes us a couple more months to wait a little longer, that way the people get what they want to see, well, then we'll do that. We'll do what's necessary. That way they get what they want.
We've got the big rematch next week. Obviously, Andy Ruiz being the first Mexican heavyweight. How do you see that going down?
Tough fight for both. It's about who's going to be able to adapt and who's going to be able to, land that big punch to end the fight, because in the heavyweight division, anything can end at any moment. I mean, it can end at any moment.
All right, Jesse, I know that obviously you gave me like a quick 8 minutes, so I'd like to thank you for jumping on real quick with me.
It's a great pleasure being here. Honestly, unfortunately, I had to head out, but, I have my people waiting for me out, and they're rushing me. But I said, no, wait a second. We need to do this podcast. Just give me a few minutes. And thankfully, they did. But it's a pleasure to be here.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much.
And now it's time for the last round interview of the week.
Here we go, a live show from Las Vegas again, the day after the Top Rank card. I'm sat with Sam Jones at the Platinum Hotel. It's a nice hotel, Sam, nicer than mine.
Yeah, we've stayed here before, actually. Me and Joe stayed here for, I think, about 6 weeks before his debut against Ian Lewison. He actually trained out here for his pro debut, so I know this place quite well.
And you are here for Guido. How do you pronounce his last name?
Guido Vianello.
So he was out last night. Pretty much a one-round demolition job. Yeah,
it was very impressive of him yesterday. He did. It's definitely his best performance. I mean, his offense was all great, but it's about what's coming back. He work on his defense, because he's a European heavyweight. Do you know what I mean? He models himself on Vladimir Klitschko, and it was a little bit more than aggressive than Klitschko was, but he was really terrific yesterday, and he closed the show very, very early. I think it was like 35 seconds.
When do you expect him out next?
We're going to get him hopefully out on the Fury Wilder undercard on February the 22nd.
The heavyweight scene's kind of bolstering at the minute. You have two. You have Guido, and you also have
three. I've got three.
Joyce and you have
George Fox as well. Yeah.
George Fox.
I've got three.
One. So, going forward with those three, what do you expect ready for next year?
Well, obviously Joe's quite far ahead at the moment. Now we're going to try and get this European title fight finalised in the next couple of days against Marco Huck. It's not necessarily the opponent we wanted, but it's the belt we wanted. So that's who we've got to beat. So that's what we've got to do. So we're going to fight Marco Huck, and then look, Joe's ready for anything after that. Absolutely anything. As I said, I put a tweet out the other day, and Joe, me and Joe were talking about it. Whoever the fans want Joe to fight, we will fight. Whether that be Dubois, whether that be whoever you want, whoever we want, we'd fight anyone. Luis Ortiz, his stock's not been harmed since his last fight. He was winning every round, wasn't he? And he got violently taken out. Well, that was a fight that was always brilliant. We'd fight any of these people.
Do you think it's just Joe Joyce's style? That's why he kind of gets some stick, because he's got a very unorthodox style, I would say.
An unorthodox style, but I think Joe's just not been given the credit yet, because, I mean, he's had big wins like Stiverne, but like Stiverne was towards the end of his career. Everybody knows that. We're not delusional. But Brian Jennings, I believe Joe should have got a lot more credit than what he did. I mean, because the main event, Dubois looked spectacular against Gorman, so he got all the credit, but it was a British title fight. Joe's fight was a world-level fight against a guy who's been in there against Klitschko points. Klitschko beat him on points, and that wasn't an easy fight for Vladimir Klitschko. Jennings is not an easy night for anybody. So I think Joe's not got the credit he deserves yet, but he will do next year. That's why, as I say, we're going to win this European title, and then you can't look past anybody in the heavyweight division because anything can happen in the heavyweight division. But I fully expect him to come through Marco Huck, and then Joe will fight anybody.
Martin Bakoli, so we can see you against Billy Nelson.
Flipping heck. Martin Bakoli, like, it's fair play to him doing what he's doing, but come on now, he's on a string of wins against 2 journeymen, 2 Everlast bags. Do you know what I mean? He's fight someone proper. Do you know what I mean? Live.
I really
fight Jennings. Fight Jennings.
I just want to see that. I want to see you against Billy Nelson.
But Billy Nelson is just Billy Nelson. That's everything. It's his food and drink. Bakoli. Do you know what I mean? He's living on this opportunity. But I think it's the only fighter he trains. I don't know. I don't know about Billy Nelson. I've blocked him on social media. So I'm sick to death of hearing him. So I pay no attention to it. Good luck to Bakoli. Bakoli's a nice man, to be fair to him. So I wish him all the best. But he's going to be used. They're building him up to be a cannon fodder, as I've said before. That's what I believe. He's going to be. He's going to be fed to a Hergovich, or why don't they rematch Michael Hunter?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What we'll say, don't talk about Joe. Just avenge your loss where you got battered from pillar to post. It wasn't just like he got knocked out with one shot. He got systematically battered and then quit.
I mean, he's got a big fight coming forward, Michael Hunter.
Michael Hunter's a great fighter. A great fighter. I really rate Michael Hunter. I think he's going to win. Beat Povetkin quite comfortably, in my opinion.
And then going back to that card, you were touching on the Guido was Carl Frampton against Tyler McCreary.
Yeah.
Good victory, I thought, for Carl Frampton. I thought going in it actually might be kind of tricky because Tyler McCreary was so much taller, so much rangier.
Yeah, I think he was obviously not a big puncher, McCreary, but he knew his way around the ring. He was quite a flashy boxer, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. Carl Frampton was brilliant, I thought. I was really impressed with him. I thought he pressed the fight, he made it, because if he was going to stand off him, Carl Frampton's never been in any stinkers, has he really? I think he's been probably one, but it's not ever his fault if it would be. Do you know what I mean? Like, Frampton always comes to fight. He's a crowd pleaser. I was really impressed with him after a year out as well and coming off a loss. But I think he hurt his hand. I think so. I was hearing. So I think he's obviously going to have a couple of. He can still train, and I would like to see him fight Jamal Herring in Belfast. I would love to see that fight, and see Frampton try and become a 3-weight world champion.
World title, yeah.
I've always been a Frampton fan since he started. I've always followed his career. Big fan of Carl Frampton.
Yeah, so am I. I mean, especially if, what he said. Hurting his hand in the second round. I thought his judgment of distance was really good. Get in, take a few shots, let a few shots go, then get back out of range. I agree. I thought Tyler McCreary was more kind of the flashy than substance. He was negative, was it? I think not to be disrespectful, but I think he kind of overrated himself a bit too highly, because with that kind of style, you have to have a bit of zap in your shots. And I think I don't know whether he hurt Carl in one of the rounds to the body. Yeah, from what I don't know, but Carl Frampton won every round convincingly, in my opinion. I mean, I was sat next to his manager Jamie Conlon, and Jamie Conlon was like, could probably give him one. I think you're harsh taking one fight round away. I thought Frampton won every minute of every round. And then moving on to the main event, Oscar Valdez, Adam Lopez. I thought we were going to see a bit of a shock.
Yeah, he flattened Valdez, didn't he? I was like, woof, what's going on here? And then Valdez obviously got it together. I thought the stoppage was a little bit premature, but I think it was only going to end up one way.
No, I agree. I thought he was one of those where maybe a little bit premature, but you could kind of see that he was starting to take a bit of punishment. And then obviously with the tragedies we've had this year, I'm sure they probably thought, we'll stop it. Beautiful uppercut though, to drop Valdez early on. Valdez kind of got up, looked at his corner, and was kind of like, just chill.
Yeah,
I've got it. Good performance though from Lopez. I think it's one of those
great performance. His stock's risen from that, hasn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, so
that loss is going to do him no harm whatsoever.
And I think he said beforehand he got paid all of his fights combined.
Yeah,
fight, so
fair play to him.
Win for the guy.
Fair play. I was really happy. As I say, I think the fight could have gone on a bit longer. I'm not for one that criticises stoppages, because again, it's health at the end of the day. But I do think that it was a premature stoppage. But the fight was only going to end. It was tipping back in Valdez's favour, and Valdez was coming on strong. But great performance from Lopez. He's done himself no harm there.
And then touched on another one of your fighters who was fighting back in England,
Yeah.
Lerone Richards, picked up the Commonwealth and the British.
Yeah, he was already Commonwealth champion, so he was defending that belt against Lennox Clark. He won the British title last night. I watched it, and I thought the judges' scorecards were crazy again. I'm never ever. I know people like to think I am, but I'm not delusional when it comes to my fights. I'll always score it as even in the other guy's favour if the round's close, because so you have more. I don't like to be biased when it comes to score. Lerone lost 3 of those rounds tops. I scored it 9-3 in Lerone's favour, and one of the, I think it was McCreary, I don't know what his name is, but he gave Lennox Clark by I think 2 rounds or something. It was never the case at all. Lerone was pinging him. Lerone needs to probably get a bit more nastier as he goes up in the levels, but Lerone's world class in my opinion. Lennox Clark's a good fighter, good, strong, compact fighter. Came to fight. Thought he was classless at the end when Lerone went to shake his hand and he turned away and said, "Oh, I won the fight." Like, you're delusional, mate. Like, usually I would get loads of stick of my opinion on Twitter. Everybody agreed with me. Lerone won the fight. If you don't know anything about boxing, if you thought Lennox Clark won that fight.
He's a very stylish fighter, Lerone.
Yeah.
And I think going on from here, European, world level?
Yeah, 100%. I think he's probably going to have... we'll have a chat with his promoter, Frank Warren, the Queensbury Promotions. We'll see where we're going to go. But I'd like to get him out soon because he's only fought twice in 18 months. So I'd like to get him out pretty soon next year, February. That would be great. He's a gym rat, Lerone, so we have to keep him out of the gym. Like, have to give him some time off. But I'd like to get him out again, defence of the British and Commonwealth, and then move on to fight the European champion.
Busy year.
Yeah, busy year. We've got quite a lot coming up. Hopefully we've got another signing coming on board. Very good signing. You'll hear more about that in the next few weeks. Florian Marcu, our Albanian signing, he's fighting on December the 13th. Yeah, December the 13th on the Ultimate Boxer card. So we're looking forward to that. And then the day after, George Fox is fighting on the MTK Golden Contracts on Sky Sports. Yeah, Louis Edmondson fighting next week on December the 7th in Southampton, in his hometown of Southampton. Just keep him active. And then... we're looking for the big one, Joshua Ruiz. After that, we're excited for that. I'm so excited for that. Like if I'm a fan at the end of the day, more than over everything. Before everything, I'm a boxing fan, and I cannot wait to see that fight.
So, kind of touching on that fight, since you've already brought it up, probably one of the biggest shocks of this year was AJ losing to Ruiz. I think people just look at him, obviously aesthetically, Ruiz.
I'd spent time with him in Big Bear, and it didn't surprise me that he was beating Joshua to the punch, but I didn't think there was a chance in hell he would do what he did. I knew he would cause him trouble for a few rounds because he has got fast hands. I've seen him spar. I saw him spar Charles Martin for a long time in Big Bear. But Ruiz wasn't capable of doing the rounds. Not like because he was not good enough, it's because he was not fit enough. So I thought Joshua's going to take over. Joshua's a big, strong, he's an Adonis looking, isn't he? Joshua, like, he's a sensational looking man. And Ruiz battered him, didn't he? Like, again, it wasn't just the one shot. I think the one shot kind of scrambled his brains a little bit, but Ruiz beat him up. In my opinion, he beat him up. And Joshua, I don't think he quit. I don't think there's any quitting somebody like that. I think he just physically wasn't capable of carrying on, which makes the rematch so intriguing, doesn't it?
So from that, do you think the rematch... Because in my opinion, I'm not too sure whether, just having those few months and... is going to be able to advance Joshua enough to be able to cover the spots where he was lacking. Because Joshua's been boxing around 10 years. Ruiz has been in boxing for, I think, like 22 years. And you can see kind of... And I think Eddie Hearn even admitted in a recent interview on IFL TV that Joshua won the title, but he was still learning. He just was able to beat Charles Martin and kind of bought the title from him by throwing so much money at him. And he's still been learning on the job. And I think that, Ruiz is fast hands. He's kind of got fast feet, even though he may not have the engine. I just don't know whether he's going to be able to... Because those punches in combination, I just don't know if AJ's... he doesn't seem to get out of range.
I don't know about fast feet with Ruiz. I don't think his footwork's that great, to be honest. I think his hands are just rapid fast. And look, he's got a chin of cement as well, hasn't he? Like, he proved that. Like, he wasn't dazed, was he, when he got... Joshua hit him. Joshua's knocked many a man out with that shot that he caught Ruiz with. That's why I worry for Joshua. I mean, I don't understand these people... Like the Brits that said, I want Ruiz to win. Like, I want Joshua to win. I want Joshua to win. I want him to bring the titles back, and I want him to have big fights. I want Joe to fight him. I want eventually down. I want all these big fights to happen with Joshua. That's no disrespect to Ruiz, but I'd prefer it if Joshua won. But I do fear for him because immediate rematches, unless you're Lennox Lewis, they don't really tend to go very well in immediate rematch, especially really fast rematches. Because when, as I say, Lennox fought Ratman. Lennox, you could see, wasn't taking the fight seriously, and he got caught with a big shot. And then you saw what he did to him in the rematch. He was the best 1-2 I've ever seen in boxing.
So if you were involved with AJ, would you have told him to take the rematch, or would you have waited? Because I think everyone kind of says that if he'd have waited, the titles would have been split up.
It's a hard one. It's a hard one because would I have wanted him to take the rematch? No, absolutely not. But he doesn't really have a choice, because if he doesn't take the rematch, he's going to be called the biggest coward in the world, isn't he? Like the biggest coward in the world. He's scared of a fat man. That's what people are going to say, aren't they? But would I have liked him to take the rematch? No. Would I have wanted him in my heart? No, I wouldn't, because to prepare for Ruiz, I think he needed a couple more fights. You know what I mean? Like a bit more time with. I think he's brought in a few coaches. I don't know.
Angel Fernandez.
Yeah, I've heard he's brought in Angel Fernandez. I think he's Isaac Chamberlain's trainer. He obviously feels like he needs to change something, so he's brought in that. Fair play to him. Hope it works for him. But how many months ago was the last 4 months ago?
It's like somewhat June.
So July, August, September, October, November. So 5 months ago. So about 5 months ago. Is that really enough time to I don't know. That's what makes it so intriguing. Like, usually I don't sit on the fence. I try not to sit on the fence with predictions, but I can't predict this because I can see a way both men win. I can see if Joshua sticks behind his jab and kind of bores his way to it, but like what Lennox used to do, just like so brilliantly, just work behind his jab and just keep him on the end of the jab and just don't please the crowd, just win the fight. Just win the fight. It doesn't matter if you knock him out. Just get your belts back and win the fight, and then never fight him ever again. Just forget about Andy Ruiz. But then I can see Ruiz getting inside. He's like, if you've ever lost to somebody, like even when like in any sport, if you've lost to to this person like quite badly, it's stuck in your head, isn't it? I don't know. I really don't know. But I really hope Joshua wins the fight. I do.
Going forward, it'd be great if he did. Obviously, you've got the fights with Joyce, Tyson Fury, Dylan White.
They're the fights we want to see, don't we? I'm just being selfish as a boxing fan. Like, watching Wilder have a unification fight with Andy Ruiz doesn't really get the hairs on my stand up on my neck. I'm just saying this as my opinion as a fan. I want to see Wilder against Joshua. I want to see Joshua against Fury, and then I want my guy Joyce to fight these guys. But we'll see. But ultimately, I want to see those guys have a round robin and contest for the belts. But look, Ruiz is there on merit, isn't he? He's not there by fluke. He won the fight, the belts fair and square in spectacular fashion, didn't he? So we've got to give full respect to Andy Ruiz what he did, and I'm so excited for the fight next week. Like literally, I'm thinking about it. Like even now, like before I was coming down to speak to you, I was thinking, oh God, I can't wait for that fight next week.
And it's obviously over in Saudi Arabia, so I don't know how many Mexican fans and British fans are going to be out there, but that purpose-built arena kind of looks something special.
It looked great. People were quick to like shout down the Saudi Arabia thing, but listen, if they're paying the money for it, why can't they host the country? We're moving on. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone needs to kind of get their heads out their arses a little bit and just like this. If these guys are prepared to spend the money on these fights, like people are moaning about what they're earning, like the guys, this is heavyweight boxing. Two men putting 18 stone on each other's chins, like they deserve all the money in the world they get. Do you know what I mean? For all these fans, I'm sure it's going to be it's obviously probably not going to be the same atmosphere as it would be in the O2 or Wembley or somewhere like that. But I think it gives it. I would like it not to always happen in Saudi Arabia, obviously, because Anthony Joshua's a Brit. Do you know what I mean? He's a British icon, so I'd like to see him fight back at home as well. But look, it looks a spectacular arena, doesn't it? I can't wait. It's a great card. I'm looking forward to the Hunter Povetkin fight. I'm a big fan of Michael Hunter. I think he's a real dark horse in the heavyweight division. I think he's a proper nightmare.
He is, because he's obviously kind of like more of a cruiserweight, kind of like Usyk.
Yeah, he is.
He's going up with a lot of speed and technique.
Touching on Usyk's whole thing was like movement and legs, and I think I'm not just saying. Listen, it could just be the one performance, but I wasn't overly excited about his performance against Witherspoon. I didn't think he set the world on fire there. I think Michael Hunter's a better heavyweight problem than Usyk. My opinion. I know people sound crazy, but I just do. I think Usyk's probably one of the best fighters I've ever seen at cruiserweight. Absolute legend. Probably the second best cruiserweight ever. Probably the best. It's between him or Evander Holyfield, and you've got David Haye there as well. That's my opinion. He might get shot down for that, but that's my opinion. But a heavyweight, is he going to be big enough? Is he going to be quick enough? Because he's never been a big puncher as well, Usyk. So that's going to be the question marks over it. Mike Hunter's proven he can punch. He can put his shots together and hurt you. I mean, he knocked out, I know Ustinov, he's way past his best, and when Joe beat him, he's past his best, but he's punched him all around the ring. It's a big flipping 25-stone man, and Hunter bullied him all around the ring, slapped him about.
Now, it'll be interesting to see where Usyk goes. Derek Chisora seems to be the one everyone's kind of shouting about, whether it's going to be like a little payday for Derek.
He'll ask questions of Usyk, but I think Usyk will outclass Derek Chisora.
Yeah, I think
because I mean, Derek Chisora's good run of form at the moment, but I think people are reading too much into the fact that Derek's this destructive puncher. He beat Artur Spilka, which he hasn't always displayed the greatest of chins. Spilka. It's no disrespect to Spilka. He's brave. You know what I mean? He's brave, but I think people are overplaying the Chisora thing. Like he's you got to remember, Chisora's lost 9 times. He's lost 9 times to. He was unlucky against Helenius, wasn't he? But Pulev's beat him. He's lost many. He's lost twice to Dillian White. But good luck to Derek Chisora. Do you know what I mean? It's great for him. He's going to get a great paid out of it. But I do expect Usyk to outclass him.
Since we're talking about the heavyweight division, Tyson Fury Wilder coming up February 22nd.
February 22nd, yeah.
Unless the date gets moved. Obviously, you know Tyson very well. Cause
he's a friend of mine. Yeah, he's a friend. I've known him way before that, Tyson. That's why he came up to spar my guys, and hopefully he's going to spar Guido again for Wilder. Probably my other fighter, George Fox, is probably going to come and spar him in Las Vegas. Yeah, Tyson, good friend of mine, Tyson.
How do you know him?
It's just from ages, and I've known him for years. It was for Peter Fury at the time. I used to spend a lot of time up in Bolton because my friend Asghar Ter from Derby, he was always in the corner with Tyson. He's been in the corner for a long time. So that's how I knew the Furies from there, and I've always had a great relationship with Tyson. He's always been great with me. Very generous guy, funniest man you'll ever meet. I was there ringside for. I've been at all his last few fights, Tyson. Been at all his last few fights. The Wallin, Schwartz, Wilder. He's doing great, isn't he, Tyson, at the moment? He's a worldwide phenomenon, isn't he, at the moment, Tyson?
Do you think it will go the same way as the first should have gone? In my opinion, I think Tyson won 10 rounds.
If you want my honest opinion, mate, I'm scared for Tyson in the fight. I'm just being honest. Can Tyson win the fight? Of course he can. Tyson's a much superior boxer to Wilder. But if you switch off for 1 second against Deontay Wilder, he is the scariest man in the world in boxing, Deontay Wilder, because he punches like something from hell. Like you saw Ortiz just like popping him, pinging him, moving, but he just arm punched him in the face, and his hand looked like it went through his head. How he scrambled him, didn't it, Ortiz? And Ortiz hasn't got a bad chin. He's never displayed a bad chin. I think he's only been put over twice before, and both against Wilder. Yeah. So if you ask me, like, am I scared? Do I think Tyson win? Of course, Tyson can win. He's the favourite. Do you know what I mean? Going into a fight, but if Wilder hits you, I know he got up last time, and that was a freak incident. But if Wilder hits you on the chin, you're worried for anyone, aren't you? If Joe Joyce fought Deontay Wilder, he's the only fighter in the world. I don't care who Joe could fight anybody in the world. I'd be confident of Joe beating Wilder. I know people are going to give me stick on that, but I'd be confident Joe beating. But if Wilder hits somebody on the chin, they're in trouble. They're banging trouble. I'd shit my pants if Joe fought Deontay Wilder.
I think all of the fights for Wilder, every time he fights somebody, it's always, can they just stay away
for 12 rounds?
For 12 rounds.
If you can avoid this guy, this big lanky athlete for 12 rounds, you've won the fight. And I think people are a bit harsh on him, saying, "Oh, Wilder can't box." Listen, the guy's an Olympic bronze medalist. You're not a mug if you win an Olympic bronze medalist. I just think he relies on his equaliser, which he has. He just pulls it out of his pocket, doesn't he, every time? And I mean, the shot that hit Dominic Brazil, I felt that through the television. It was the click, that noise, that snap noise. Horrible, horrible man.
It's funny because when you watch him, you know, he's got very slow feet. He's very unorthodox. He kind of like puts everything behind every punch to the
flat-footed,
where he nearly falls over.
Yeah.
He's not the sort of person, you know, if you had a son where you'd be like, hey, you know, you want to watch him. You want to copy what he does.
So that's what makes him a freak.
Yeah.
He's just a freak, isn't he, Wilder? Because again, you're not gonna have if you're running an amateur club, you're not gonna say model yourself on this geezer, are you? But he just has. I mean, boxing's about hitting the man until they fall on the floor, isn't it? That's just what it's. I mean, it's not the sweet science necessarily, but it's just a volcanic eruption, isn't it, Wilder? He's just. I honestly think I tweeted it the other day, and people can say, "Oh, Mike Tyson," but for me, he's the hardest hitting man in boxing history.
Yeah, I think I've started watching boxing. I don't think I've ever seen anyone with that. Like you say, it's like
ferocious.
It's like a gun goes off.
It's just a shotgun.
Yeah.
It really is. That's why I'm not exaggerating when I say it. Like every time I look. I know Deontay Wilder pretty well. Like one of my very close friends is Malik Scott, who's his very good friend. So I know Wilder. He's a lovely man, Deontay Wilder. But again, if I was sat there watching, it was hard enough watching Tyson fight because I thought Tyson was in real trouble, not just like knocked out. I thought, flipping heck, could be serious. This could. On the phone, he just rose like the Undertaker. Then he got up. But if Joe Joyce fought, I would be confident in Joe winning because you've seen it with Wilder. You can beat him, but if he hits you, I'd shit my pants the old time I was there.
And I think the longer he stays as champion, it's kind of one thing I have noticed. He's calmer. Like now, he kind of waits.
Patient. He's not in any rush.
No, whereas he used to try and, you know, maybe play up to the crowd, or
yeah.
You know, he was looking for that knockout.
Yeah.
Or he kept maybe realizing like I'm 3 or 4 rounds
down. No, you bang on with your assessment there. Yeah,
a lot more. You know, slowly. He knows he doesn't rush. Which is dangerous.
I mean, he was happy. Like Joe. Do you know? People forgot, haven't they, the fact that Ortiz was winning every second of every round. It wasn't just like Wilder wasn't hitting him with anything. He landed a couple of jabs, but he was just setting him up. It was like when a flipping lion was lining up a gazelle on one of them David Attenborough shows. Like he was just eyeing him up, patient, boom, and. It was just, he's a freak of nature, Deontay. Well, that's why I say, like, if you're asking me, do I think Tyson win? Of course he can. Tyson's the best heavyweight in the world for me. But can Deontay Wilder knock him out? Yes, he can. Like Deontay Wilder, that's what makes the fight so intriguing.
Do you think it will go ahead February 22nd?
Yeah,
Tyson's cut?
Yeah. I've got no reason why not. I mean, Tyson's cut seems to be healing very well. It seems to have healed. There's no reason why the fight is still 3 months away.
And do you think, because, you know, I'm kind of preempting things, but say if Tyson does lose, do you think people are going to say, like, oh, well, you had too many distractions?
Yeah, there's too many distractions, WWE and all that.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about him losing. I just think that Tyson's made a lot of money now, hasn't he? Like, so you've got to think but people have to remember, Tyson has been bred to fight. He really has. He's got a fighting family. Like that's what it's all he is. He's a fighter at the end of the day. Yeah, he understands the business more now and realises you have to market yourself. He's seen what Joshua's done. Like Joshua's on every billboard there is in London. He's on every advert, links, Beats by Dre. Like you realise it's boxing's a business as well, and Tyson's doing that. But nobody should write off the fact that Tyson is a fighting man and he's bred to fight. So. I'd still favour Tyson in the rematch, 100%. But I'm scared for him at the same time because, I mean, he's a pal of mine, isn't he? Like, I want him to win. But Deontay Wilder is a scary, scary man.
Would Joe Joyce and Tyson ever meet?
Why not?
Yeah.
If you're not, as I said before when people ask me this question, if you're not in boxing, it's like in football. If you don't want to eventually face Barcelona in a cup match or something like that, if you're not in sport to fight the very best, why are you in boxing for?
No, exactly.
What are you in boxing for?
Yeah.
Like Tyson's my mate. Would I like them both to fight? No, not really. But I want Joe to fight him, yes, because he's the best. If you can't test yourself the best, well, get out of the sport you're doing.
You kind of touched on, obviously, you know, Tyson being a friend of yours. Was it him that helped you get into boxing?
No, I wouldn't say he helped me get into boxing, but it's made it a lot easier Peter Fury played a big part. I've just always been in and about the circuit, but it's just making my own break. I got Savannah Marshall on the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather undercard. That kind of like broke me into it a little bit, and then I got Joe Joyce. I knew Joe from the GB setup, and then that's what gave me the platform really, and the rest is history.
And your official title is like boxing agent?
Boxing manager, boxing agent, whatever you want to call me. I do it with my business partner, Adam Morley, which we're very proud of what we've built in a short space of time. We've got champions all over the place. Got Guido over here with Top Rank. We've got another international signing coming. Joe Joyce, who's obviously we've had from the beginning. Guido I've had from the beginning. We've signed Lerone Richards, who I genuinely believe is going to go on to World Honours. Cody Davis, I've got all the belief that he's going to go on to do big things if he fulfills his potential. So we're doing good things. We're just about building. I'd never ever want to have a stable with 50 to 100 fighters in there. I always want to keep it like a boutique kind of situation, like 10, 11 fighters, and I'm happy with that.
Just so you can give them your utmost attention?
Give them my all, because like I think what people see with me, I can get criticised a lot, but I do like put everything into it. I live and breathe it. It's what I do every single day of my life. I don't have any days off. Like when it comes to boxing, like I'm on my phone 24/7 with boxing. So I want to give you everything I have. In fact, I'm going to take money off somebody who's putting their life on the line. I don't want to understate that, because it is. You've seen what's happened in boxing, what things can happen in boxing. If I'm going to take a percentage off you, what you put your life on the line for, I'm going to give you everything I have. I can sign loads of fighters now. Like I get messages daily, which really humbles me. I get messages daily, but I have to be emotionally invested in you if I'm gonna be a part of your management team.
And since starting in the business, is it as cutthroat as people say?
Yes, yeah, of course it is. There's bad people in boxing. People know that. I would like to think I'm not a bad person. I'm very heart on my sleeve, very an honest guy. We're just doing our thing. Do you know what I mean? We work with very great people. I've got a great team. I've got really great people who I've got a great advisor. I've got Adam Morley, my business partner. We do great. And we're looking to keep progressing.
Any ambitions for 2020?
Yeah, Joe Joyce to be heavyweight world champion
by the end of next year. All right. Well, Sam, thanks for your time. If you want to give a shout out to any of your social media, any plans you have for the business next year?
Yeah, don't follow me on social media. My social media is boring. Follow SJam Boxing. That's my company name.
I would say definitely follow you on Twitter.
Yeah, that could be. That's a bit more interesting than my Instagram, isn't it? Twitter. Yeah, follow Mr. Sam Jones 88. Follow that.
Right, Sam, thank you for your time. And I always follow you, and you're definitely someone I like to look at on Twitter, because like you kind of stage, you give your honest opinion, which is rare.
I get stick for it, but I'm never going to change. If somebody asks me my opinion, I'm going to give it them.
You get stick for giving an opinion, but you also get stick if you sit on the fence.
Yeah, you get stick at anything. Listen, it's life, isn't it? At the start, it bothered me when people send me horrible messages, but I get a load of good messages as well. It's like it's what it is. You can't please anyone. I'd rather be someone's shot of whiskey than everyone's cup of tea.
There we go. It's a good note to end it on.
Yeah, mic drop.
All right, thanks for your time.
Take care, mate. Take care.
Thanks for supporting and listening to the show. Follow us at The Last Round 12 on social media. Rate, review, and subscribe. This is The Last Round